Mary Sheehan is an example of adults creating a second act for themselves. What was her first act? She was a pharmacist. Her second act? Let's call it being a connections coach. Mary's here as a model for making the second part of your life as interesting as the first, and to help us make connections that count. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you now own your own company called Prescriptions for Happiness. How does someone go from being a pharmacist to helping for people relate better? I'm not sure I see the connection.
Okay. Well, in the pharmacy, I'd have basically 30 seconds with the customer. That meant I would have to gain their trust instantly and be able to really get to the bottom of what it was that they needed from me. And I found that often it wasn't always about the pill, it was about the person. So really, the process is the same with what I do as a coach as well as the issues, because now I just give advice without the pills.
All right, so when you talk about connecting people, it's like building relationships, and today we have all kinds of ways to connect. We have Facebook, we have cell phones, we have Twitter, we have text. And so don't we have plenty?
Well, let me give you an example. A 22-year-old sent me a text, of course, because she's 22. She had a job interview, she was intimidated, and she wanted to stand out. So I suggested via text that she should write a handwritten thank you note. And I got back one of those emoticons, you know, where the eyes are big and the mouth is hanging open. And I told her not only should you handwrite a note, but also write why you'd love to work for the company and why you'd make a great candidate. And it would show them that you knew how to connect. And she thought about it and she ended up doing it. And I'd like to think that if she does get the job, I hope she does, that was a part of it.
Great. How do we create positive connections? Tell us how to do it.
Well, I'll give you an example from my own life. After long days at the pharmacy, I would come home both wound up and exhausted, which is not a good combination. I'd come in ready to kind of let loose on my poor unsuspecting husband. He wouldn't even look up, and I'd become angry. And I realized, that is not good. That's not working for me. So now, if it's been a long day, I take a moment, call him on the phone, check in, what kind of mood are you in? Here's where I'm at. Can I have some time? Gives him 20 minutes to prepare for what's coming through the door. 6 minutes I unload, and then I have the whole rest of the evening to have a lovely time in my lovely home with my loving husband.
Now that works if you're good to connect with and he's good to connect with. What if you're dealing with somebody who's not so good with connections?
Right. I get this a lot with people with work problems, and one particular one, I'll give you an example, are the complainers. So I'll give you 3 ways to deal with someone who's complaining. First thing is to not take it personally. It is their stuff. Don't pick up their bag. Don't judge. Observe. That's another good tip. And also don't react. Acknowledge. Like a lot of times if someone is just complaining they're in a bad space and you just acknowledge, hey sister, it's okay, we'll get back to it. So I teach these kinds of things that at first seem awkward because anger is a knee-jerk reaction, but then people get a hold of it and they use it and it works, and over time it becomes a new way to deal with people, and then before you know it, you're working with the best people in the world.
So what you're here to do is, if any of our viewers, for example, are having trouble building relationship with somebody at work, somebody at the senior center, maybe one of their kids, that's where they would call you and you could help them?
Right. I could help them with perspective, because we see things only through our eyes. Like my eyes only look out, but the other person is looking at you. So I help people see perspective and also really get to the crux of the problem. I mean, someone can lay 49 things on me. I'll find the one thing that is truly the problem, hone in on it, get it solved.
Sounds very helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your new business.
Thank you so much.
If you're not living happily ever after, you can find new ways, or a new career actually, to make your life more meaningful. Follow Mary's advice. And for more information, you can call her 330-592-5793, or you can go to her website, www.prescriptionsforhappiness.com.
Next, Dior.